It's happening. Nick Bosa is fully cleared from concussion protocol. I know that this was expected. Bosa was already ambling about at practice the past couple days, but it's now official. I know a lot of you could take a big sigh of relief. The 49ers certainly can. Protocol can be an iffy thing sometimes, right? It could be an unpredictable thing, but the 49ers will have the best player on their defense back for their showdown against the Packers in the divisional playoffs. And this is absolutely huge because those of you who follow the 49ers know what the history against Green Bay in the postseason is like. In 2019, both in the postseason and in the regular season, Nick Bosa dominated the Packers. Now, remember in 2019, the Packers had the top offensive line in football, number one pass block win rate. You had David Bakhtiari at left tackle. You had Corey Linsley at center. You had Brian Bulaga at right tackle. I mean, that was a good offensive line, but the 49ers defensive line at full strength completely overwhelmed Green Bay's. It was Bosa beating Bakhtiari, taking him to school. That was a rookie Bosa beating him over and over and over again. So we know that if this 49ers defensive line is at full strength, it can work Green Bay. I mean, that's been demonstrated. That's been proven. You might say, well, what happened in week 3 this year? Well, a lot of things happened in week 3 this year, but the primary thing is that the 49ers weren't at full strength up front. They have evolved over the course of the season up front. This defensive line Chris Kasarik has coached the hell out of them. He's moved Arden Key inside. He's taken advantage of the fact that teams are double and triple teaming Nick Bosa to open up opportunities for other developmental edge rushers. So, Key's one of them. 3 sacks in 3 seasons for the Raiders. He may finish with over 10 sacks this year, including the postseason for the 49ers. Jordan Willis picked up off the scrap heap from the New York Jets last year. 7th-round pick swap to get this guy. Well, he might be playing through a high ankle sprain tomorrow. He's been practicing, and he might be generating more pressure for the 49ers. Consider this. Willis with a hurt ankle. The guy picked up with a 7th-round pick swap from the New York Jets in 2020. Was abusing Tyron Smith, a 4-time All-Pro and an 8-time Pro Bowl left tackle for the Dallas Cowboys last week. Sansom Ebukam, early in the season, 49ers weren't getting much from him, especially in a pass rushing aspect. Well, they're getting plenty from him now. This is just awesome production from the 49ers, and I haven't even talked about Eric Armstead, who DJ Jones called the most valuable player on this team because of how he stops the run game on the inside. And obviously he's had multiple sacks the past couple of weeks. And I even talked about Jones and his swim move that got to Dak Prescott last week. This is the 49ers are coming in waves in potentially ways that we didn't see in 2019 because they're deeper this year. Yeah, they don't have the frontline star power that Dee Ford and DeForest Buckner brought the unit 2 seasons ago, but they do have a lot else when you go to the Bravos and the Turbos in that pass rush. It goes Alpha, Bravo, Turbo for the pass rush. Those are the 3 units, and the 49ers are deep, deep as hell this year. We'll see if they activate Maurice Hurst for this game against the Green Bay Packers, since Jordan Willis is questionable with that high ankle sprain. But if they do activate Hurst, that's going to be 10 defensive linemen coming after Aaron Rodgers. If they don't, it's only going to be 9. If David Bakhtiari does indeed play, I think he will for Green Bay. We're going to get to see Bosa against Bakhtiari because Bosa is back. And of course, this is a different 49ers pass rush than in week 3. Well, final note here, though, coverage must fuel the pass rush better this time for the 49ers than it did back in week 3. I've mentioned this on several shows, so subscribe if you haven't yet, because we previewed this game every which direction. But the big stat here for Aaron Rodgers is he got rid of the ball in 2.31 seconds on average back in week 3. That's the snap to release time. It was one of the fastest in the league. That showed you how afraid the Packers were of the 49ers pass rush based on what had happened to them in 2019. They wanted to snap the ball, get it out quick. You had 2.31 seconds for Rodgers. For comparison's sake, Jimmy Garoppolo against the Rams in both games this year averaged 2.3 seconds from snap to release. And we'd sat here talking in entire videos about how quick that release was. So for comparison's sake, that's how the Packers feel about the 49ers pass rush, the same way the 49ers feel about the Rams pass rush. They think they need to get the ball out quickly. Well, if they get the ball out quickly, that neutralizes the pass rush, right? So you can't let those short game completions be a thing in this contest against the Packers. And that means that the pass coverage has got to be on point. Ambry Thomas has got to deliver his dose of press man coverage that's been coming along lately for the 49ers. On the other side, Emmanuel Moseley has to be physical. Good news is both of those guys did the job against Dallas. Remember entering that game, everybody was, the national media especially, was talking about Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb and how they're going to cook Emmanuel Moseley and Ambry Thomas. Well, I think CeeDee Lamb only had one catch all game against the 49ers. So that gives you an idea of how wrong people have been about the 49ers cornerbacks, because these guys, their development, especially Thomas's, is outpacing what anyone, even Kyle Shanahan, thought possible a few weeks ago. Well, it's going to have to continue against Devontae Adams, Alan Lazard, Randall Cobb and company. And Randall Cobb is back for Green Bay. That means K'Wan Williams has got to do his job in the slot. But especially on the outside, especially with Lazard, especially with Adams, the 49ers have to play good press man coverage. They cannot let Rodgers deliver those quick outlet throws with efficiency, because if he does, you're going to see a repeat of week 3, and that pass rush is not going to be as big of a factor as it should be. The coverage and the rush have to work in tandem. They have to work together. This is a team sport. We can't just credit one side, discredit the other. The 49ers have to work in unison. If those corners do their job, the 49ers pass rush can sit down at the table. They can tuck in their napkins and they can get ready to feast. That's the key to this game. And it goes back to Nick Bosa being available, because this guy, Nick Bosa, is the guy that takes up blockers. If the Packers have to dedicate energy to chipping him, double teaming him, they're taking a portion of their offense away from somewhere else. You know, every action has a reaction, right? So dedicate more energy to Bosa, there's less energy elsewhere. And in general, whenever the 49ers have beaten the Packers in the playoffs, and it's happened 3 times now against Aaron Rodgers, 12, 13, and 19, it's been because the front 4 has won and the linebackers have been able to both stop the run and cover guys, right? You had Bowman and Willis back in the day rushing behind Cowboy, Aldon Smith. I mean, that 49ers edge rush combined with the interior rush in 2012 and 2013 was so good because it was able to win mano a mano, and then you let Willis and Bowman clean up behind them. Well, I think the 49ers defense now is reminiscent of that unit. You know, it's not a Vic Fangio 3-4. You know, it's a Robert Saleh 4-3 now. It's the, you know, ironically, the Seattle-style defense, albeit with obvious changes. 49ers can't play as much zone against Aaron Rodgers in the back end. But that front, they still come off the edge. You have Bosa now. You have Arden Key now coming, you know, on these pass situations coming up the middle. You have Armstead coming from whichever position he wants to be at. You have DJ Jones able to rush the passer. I mean, we can go down through the list of how deep this unit is. It's probably the deepest pass rush the 49ers have had. What will it be ever? I don't know. But because I think it might be deeper than that 2019 unit. But the point stands. These guys can come in waves, but it has to happen as a team effort. It has to happen with that secondary working behind them and that linebacker level right behind the defensive line, versatile enough to stop the run, plug the gaps, and also cover Robert Tonyan or whoever else the Packers might throw at you in that second play action level. And, you know, that the whole level where you're not sure if Aaron Jones is going to run or if they're going to give the ball to A.J. Dillon or if Rodgers is going to look for the intermediate pass, your linebackers have to be adaptable to stop that. But it's all rooted in the front, and it's rooted in guys like Nick Bosa. So this is big news for the 49ers. All right, guys, good stuff. No questions this time for me to answer. I know you guys probably asked some, but I just wanted to give you the Bosa update. I've done an entire Q&A. Maybe I'll do one more if I have some time. But this is big news for the 49ers as they prepare to face Green Bay. Be sure to check out the rest of the preview material. It's all here on the YouTube. Subscribe. Check out The Athletic. Do whatever you need to. It's all going to be fun tomorrow in frigid Lambeau Field. Everybody take care.